After World War II, America had won the war and blue jeans had won our hearts. With each new decade, denim served as a mirror for American society, reflecting our national identity by who wore denim and how. At the same time, another story was taking place, a deeper story. After World War II, denim production in the United States soared, but eventually decreased until the last American shuttle loom went quiet in 2017. Welcome to DU 003, From Boom to Bust, where we'll talk about the historic rise and the precipitous fall of American denim from 1945 through 2017. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. What's up, Josiah? On September 2nd, 1945, World War II came to an end. With it, the GIs were coming home, and a generation raised on rationing and sacrifice was hungry for cultural renewal. Before long, they found it at the movies. In 1953, Marlon Brando played a motorcycle gang leader in The Wild One. Leather jacket, Levi's jeans, and a sneer. 2 years later, James Dean played a rebel without a cause in, well, Rebel Without a Cause. Who writes this? Nobody wore raw denim and a t-shirt better than him. Both films caused moral panic. They were banned in churches, schools, and theaters, and every teenager in America wanted one. In fact, one newspaper quoted a statistic that 90% of American youth wore jeans everywhere except church and bed. Now, think about what just happened. As we discussed in DU 002, John Wayne wore denim in the 1930s to portray a resilient cowboy. Denim was meant for work and shouldering responsibility. Brando and Dean made it mean the exact opposite: youth, subversion, and rebellion against society. In the 1950s, denim had found its pop culture generation. In the 1960s, denim went from the uniform of the rebel to the righteous. Civil rights activists made a deliberate choice to wear denim to demonstrations. It was the garment of the sharecropper and field worker, worn intentionally in front of cameras and crowds. The message was, we built this country, and this country has not kept its promises. In 1962, the town of Huntsville, Alabama held Blue Jeans Sunday, a boycott of department stores to protest segregation where everyone wore jeans. In 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. and Ralph Abernathy wore matching jeans and work shorts when they were arrested in Birmingham, Alabama. Blue jeans, born partly from the labor of enslaved people, were now being worn to protest the system that had enslaved them. History was coming full circle. The counterculture went all in on denim. Bell-bottoms, patched jeans, students at Berkeley, hippies at the National Mall. Jeans absorbed every meaning asked of it without losing its essential character. It was, and still is, the garment of the people. By the early 1970s, denim had become ubiquitous and the fashion industry was getting nervous. How do you create desire for something that's everywhere? The answer arrived from marketing departments in LA and New York. Put your name on the jeans, charge more. The logo became the product, and the era of brand as identity had arrived. With it came the rise of Calvin Klein, Gloria Vanderbilt, and Jordache. But beneath the glitter, something deeper was happening. The logic of cheap offshore labor was beginning to rewrite the map of American manufacturing. Here's another critical moment in the history of American denim. Since 1945, domestic denim production had more than doubled. But over the next 50 years, America lost nearly 90% of all textile jobs. The tectonic plates of the global economy had begun to shift, and sewing jobs from the Carolinas to Midtown Manhattan were starting to go away. Jobs that would never come back. I'm a child of the 1980s, so I want to speak to this decade from personal experience. I had my bleach wash jeans, I learned to do a French cuff in middle school, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. For a 10-year-old kid, I can't say that I was wrong. Bon Jovi wore acid wash jeans, Guns N' Roses wore ripped denim and leather, Madonna was in denim jackets with the collar pop. Should I do it? Is this better?
Just cut your collar pop.
Do I look cool? Do I look like Madonna? And Bruce Springsteen released Born in the USA in 1984 in stonewashed denim, singing songs about working class struggles while the working class was quietly losing its jobs. Looking back now, I have a deeper appreciation for what was happening. Brands were selling jeans that looked worn before you'd worn them. Fades belonged to no one in particular. The garment that had been about durability and work was being processed to simulate a history it hadn't lived. The 1980s were fun, but from my perspective, it was a decade where we elevated aspiration over inspirations. That showed up through pop culture, including how we wore our denim. In the 1990s, every subculture had its own language, and denim spoke them all. Grunge tore denim up. Hip-hop made it enormous. Preppy reverted to a classic medium wash. Denim was diverse, and it was cool. But in the 90s, consumerism was accelerating. On December 31st, 1989, the day before the new decade began, the New York Times used two words to describe a Spanish clothing chain called Zara. Those two words? Fast fashion. What seemed like a retail innovation was also a values degradation. At $15, a pair of jeans was no longer a garment to be cared for, but a commodity to be disposed of. The signing of NAFTA and WTO deregulations decimated the American denim industry. and jobs continued to flow abroad. Free trade often has winners and losers. Consumers and corporations typically benefit while domestic workers suffer. That was certainly true of America in the 1990s, and American textile workers never recovered. In the 2000s, fast fashion began to reign supreme in the United States. H&M arrived in 2000 and Zara followed soon thereafter. The price floor collapsed. Clothing became commoditized. The garment that Jacob Davis designed to last a decade was now designed to last a season. Before the quality collapsed, there was one last attempt to make denim mean something again. Around 2000, a small group of LA designers looked at $15 jeans flooding the market and asked, what if denim costs $200? Enter 7 for All Mankind, True Religion, and Lucky Brand jeans. They featured funky stitching and celebrity shoutouts. Premium labels in the 2000s got the diagnosis right, but the prescription wrong. The fabric was still mass-produced, still chemically distressed, still made offshore. Like the 1970s, what you were paying for was the logo, not the quality, not the craftsmanship. Then the financial crisis in 2008 arrived and reset everything. The premium denim market collapsed almost as fast as it had risen. Fast fashion had won the American consumer and was about to kill off the last remaining domestic selvage denim production. The end of the golden era for American denim has a time and a place. Greensboro, North Carolina, New Year's Eve, 2017. The Cohen Mills White Oak plant was founded there in 1905. 3 years later, it was the largest denim producer on the planet. In 1915, Levi's approached Cohen to have its White Oak plant become the exclusive producer of selvage denim for the 501 jean, the most iconic fabric from the most iconic mill for the most iconic jean. The Gentleman's Agreement, which became known as the Golden Handshake, held for over a century. But by 2017, a private equity firm had purchased Cohen, and Levi's was sourcing almost all of its denim from abroad. On December 31st, 200 workers went home for the last time, and the Draper X3 looms went quiet. The flame of American selvage denim went out. We lost more than a mill that day. A fabric that had symbolized something fundamental about our society was gone, and America lost a part of itself. The story of American denim from 1945 to 2017 started as a symbol of freedom, reflected American culture with each passing decade, but died because the industry lost its way, pursuing profits at all costs. But here's what I want you to hold on to. That deeper identity of American craftsmanship, of making things that are made to last, that get better with age, is still within us, waiting to be restored. Another country on the other side of the world has shown that it's possible to balance capitalism with craftsmanship. While America got lost chasing profits, the Japanese preserved what we had lost. That story is DU004, How Japan Saved Raw Denim. If you want to go deeper on any of this, head over to Denim University at www.fittedunderground.com, and I'll see you in the next class.